There comes a moment in almost every person's life, not during their biggest failure, not when they lose all their money or watch a relationship fall apart, but on a very ordinary night. The room is quiet. The phone has nothing left to distract them. The noise of the world slowly fades away, and for the first time in a long while, they are forced to face themselves. They look back at their life and realize the thing exhausting them most is not work, not family pressure, not even aging itself. It is the feeling that they have abandoned themselves for far too long. They once had plans, so many promises to change, so many nights whispering, "Tomorrow I'll become different." But the next morning always looked the same. They kept delaying, kept drifting through routines, kept letting identical days pass without truly living. And the most painful part is not that other people are disappointed in them. It is that they have started becoming disappointed in themselves. Some people reach their 40s or 50s still living as if life offers endless time. They postpone taking care of their health, postpone building financial security, postpone becoming the person they secretly dream of being. Every day feels busy, yet somehow they never truly move forward. They wake up carrying a long list of responsibilities, only to go to bed with a strange emptiness inside. Because deep down, they know they are trading their lives for things that do not truly belong to them. There is a difficult truth most people avoid hearing. Life rarely destroys us with one massive blow. It does it through tiny acts of surrender. One morning waking up late. One moment saying, "I'll do it tomorrow." One decision choosing comfort over what matters. One promise broken to ourselves. And thousands of moments like these slowly accumulate until we become someone we no longer recognize. Many people think they lack motivation. They do not. What they truly lack is trust in themselves. Because every time you betray your own word, you teach your mind that your promises mean nothing. And little by little, you lose the most valuable thing a human being can possess. Not money, not opportunities, but inner trust. You begin questioning everything. Am I capable enough? Is it too late for me? Can I really change? But listen carefully to this. No one is born disciplined. No one naturally wakes up powerful. No one suddenly becomes the best version of themselves overnight. Character is built during the days nobody sees, during the mornings you rise despite exhaustion, during the moments you sit down to work while your mind begs you to quit, during the silent battles where you choose progress instead of excuses. That is where your real identity is formed. Modern society teaches us that success must look impressive. Luxury homes, expensive cars, status, recognition, and yet many people who possess all those things still cannot sleep peacefully at night. Because true success is not about having more. It is about mastering yourself. You can be wealthy and still feel empty, famous and still feel lost, admired and still secretly dislike the person staring back at you in the mirror. And that is one of life's greatest tragedies. Some people spend their entire lives trying to prove their worth to the world, while never once living deeply enough to make themselves proud. Do you know what is truly terrifying? One day realizing you have spent years living according to feelings, working only when inspired, resting whenever things become difficult, trying hard for a few days, then collapsing back into old habits. And before you notice, years disappear. People driven by emotions constantly need motivation. People guided by principles only need commitment. That is the difference. A strong person is not someone who never feels tired. They simply refuse to let exhaustion decide the direction of their life. They continue acting on the days they feel emotionally empty. They keep promises nobody is checking. They move forward even when results remain invisible, because they understand something most people never learn. Life does not change when you finally feel ready. It changes when you decide you are no longer willing to return to the person you used to be. Perhaps for years you tried changing through inspiration alone. You watched motivational videos, read self-improvement books, created perfect plans for your future. But within days, Everything faded. Because inspiration is beautiful, but it is not strong enough to save a life without discipline. Discipline is what carries you through your darkest seasons. Not emotion, not temporary excitement, not luck, only small actions, repeated long enough. You wake up 30 minutes earlier, exercise for 15 minutes, sit down and focus when your mind wants distraction, read instead of endlessly scrolling, keep your word to yourself one more day. These things seem small, but they are rebuilding you from the inside. Every correct action becomes a vote for your better self. Every surrender becomes a vote for the weaker version still living inside you. Life is really a daily election, and your choices are your votes. There is something youth rarely understands. Time does not disappear all at once. It leaks away slowly, through meaningless mornings, through endless procrastination, through years spent surviving instead of consciously living. Then one day, you look into the mirror and ask yourself, what exactly have I done with my life? That is when many people panic, not because they are aging, but because they realize they never truly lived. Some spend their entire lives trying to satisfy others. Some sacrifice their health chasing money only to spend that money trying to recover their health later. Some become addicted to validation until they completely forget who they are. But there are also different kinds of people. Quiet people, unseen people, people who do not need attention. Yet inside them exists a strange kind of strength, a calmness, a clarity, a stability no circumstance can steal away, because they have learned how to govern themselves. They understand true freedom is not doing whatever you want. True freedom is being able to do what is right, even when you do not feel like doing it. That is the rarest freedom of all. When emotions stop controlling you, when temptations stop pulling you in every direction, when distractions no longer own your mind, you begin living like a truly mature human being. Not mature because of age, mature because of awareness. You start saying no more often, no to meaningless conversations, no to habits destroying your future, no to the comfort that has quietly kept you weak for years. And strangely enough, every time you reject what is easy, you feel lighter inside, because somewhere deep within, you know you are finally returning to yourself. Many people think discipline is restrictive. It is not. Discipline is what frees you from chaos. People without discipline are dragged everywhere by emotion. One day inspired, the next day defeated, one day determined, the next day completely lost. But people with principles remain stable, and stability creates long-term power. Life never changes because of short emotional explosions. It changes because of silent consistency, like water shaping stone, not because water is stronger, but because it never stops. You do not need to become the greatest person in the world. You only need to become someone who no longer betrays themselves. That alone is already rare. Maybe today you still have debt, still feel anxious, still carry family pressure, still feel behind everyone else. That is okay. What matters is not where you currently stand. What matters is whether you are reclaiming control over your own life. A man can lose all his money, but if he still possesses discipline and inner strength, he can rebuild everything. A woman can walk through heartbreak and pain, but if she still keeps her dignity and clarity, she can begin again. What saves people has never been luck. It has always been inner power, and inner power is never accidental. It is forged through hundreds of days refusing to quit. Maybe nobody notices your effort. Nobody understands what battles you are fighting internally. Nobody sees how much discipline it takes just to keep going. But that does not make your struggle meaningless. The most important battles in life are always fought silently. One day, when your life finally begins changing, people will call it luck. They will not see the mornings you forced yourself out of bed, the moments you fought against procrastination, the nights you sat alone trying not to collapse emotionally. But you will know, and that is enough. Because in the end, the greatest reward is not recognition from the world. It is the moment you look into the mirror and no longer feel ashamed of yourself. You know you are living correctly. You know you are moving forward. You know that even if progress is slow, you are no longer quitting on yourself. That is real peace. Not peace because life became easy, but peace because you stopped running away from yourself. And gradually, you begin changing. You no longer need someone to push you. No longer need endless motivation. You wake yourself up. You act on your own. You keep your own promises. Discipline stops feeling like punishment. It becomes identity. You walk slower, but steadier. Speak less, but with more depth. Seek less attention, but become more trustworthy. And people begin feeling it. Not through your words, but through the way you live. Through your consistency. Through your calmness during chaos. Through your ability to continue even when nobody applauds you. That is a kind of presence money cannot buy. And eventually you realize, the greatest victory in life was never defeating other people. It was refusing to let the weakest part of yourself remain in control. Maybe tomorrow you will still feel tired, still doubt yourself sometimes, still experience moments where quitting feels easier. But now you know what to do. You do not need to conquer your entire life in one day. You only need to win today. Just today. Wake up on time. Do what needs to be done. Keep your word to yourself. Do not run. Do not make excuses. Do not delay. Then tomorrow, repeat it again. That is how a human being transforms. Not through one magical moment, but through thousands of quiet choices, repeated consistently. And one day, you will look back and realize, everything began the moment you decided to stop losing to yourself. You do not need to conquer the world. You do not need to be better than everyone else. You only need to become someone you can genuinely respect. And that alone is already a beautiful life.